So my intro was gonna be something like the "What are you doing" step bro format, but like the "What are you doing" biological bro to fit my story. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's just a bad idea and a bad joke. But I just thought I'd mention it. Yeah. Hey guys, as you can tell, this is going to be a very triggering story by the title. I will not be using terms such as SA or euphemisms because I want to tell my story how it is, and I do not want to downplay what had happened. I just want to preface that I have a coping mechanism involving me speaking nonchalantly about my situation because that is just how I get through life, and I think I'm a very strong person, which is why I am able to retell my story as if I am okay. But deep down, I am so angry that this has happened. I was also 16 at the time. I never had a good relationship with my brother, like ever. I was always annoyed by just hearing him, looking at him, his presence in general, so I would stay away from him and not talk to him at all. My mom told me he probably looks up to me, which is why he always likes to bother me and get my attention, yada yada yada. But that was like when he was 9, a little bit younger, maybe 10, but he stopped purposefully bothering me when he became a teenager, which of course I'm not complaining, but maybe I should have been a better sister from the start, but it does not excuse his actions at all. There was this one day when I was sleeping in bed, but not actually sleeping, if that makes sense. I was tired and couldn't get out of bed, but I still had a little bit of consciousness to know what was kind of going on. So when I sleep in bed, I put the covers over my face, and at the time, my legs were out of the covers. So I heard someone open my door, but I didn't know who it was because, my face was covered. But, it would either be my mom or my brother, since we're the only ones who live in the house. And this person, or in this case my brother, sat on my bed, and I feel the bed kind of shift down, and then I feel a hand on my thigh. The hand was not too close to my inner thigh, but it was on mid thigh, and the board was sort of shaking as well because he's obviously masturbating. I did not immediately get up because I was tired and I was trying to process what was happening. So my attempt to get it to stop was to move so he would just go away. But every time I moved, his hand would just stop touching my thigh for 5 seconds. And then he would put his hand on again, but a little bit closer. I eventually moved a lot, in which he ran out the door. And at the time, I just thought it was weird. And since I was tired and I was sleeping but not actually sleeping, I kind of tried to convince myself it was a dream, but I know I felt his touch. It just felt too real to be a dream, and I knew that. But I was just hoping, I was praying, I was dreaming for it to be a dream. But, that was the first sign that I should have taken more seriously, and I do regret that. I told my mom the day after it happened, but even after a day, I was still processing what had happened. I told her, I think he was in my room masturbating while touching my thigh, but I don't know, it might be a dream, but I think it actually happened. So that's what I told my mom. I added the part of the dream because I felt weird saying it out loud and tried to sort of dismiss it in a subtle way, but at the same time, I don't really want that situation to be dismissed. It's really hard to put it into words, it's really hard to kind of understand my feelings, but I think the best way to explain this is that I wish I was never put in that position in the first place. I just really wanted it to be a dream, but I knew it wasn't, and my mom's expression was she didn't know what to say or do, but she asked me are you sure it wasn't a dream? And I responded with, I don't know, and I really regret saying that because, of what happened later on. And at the time, I just really wanted to move on because I thought it wasn't going to happen again. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the first red flag. If you have a red flag, don't just pass it off as if it's not going to happen again, because it will. Trust me. I just, I told my mom because I wanted her to know, because I told my mom everything. So I walked out the room and it was not mentioned again that day. I just didn't or even couldn't imagine my brother doing something sexual to me, because he's my brother, he's blood, and that's just weird. I would probably expect maybe an uncle to do that, but not my own brother. Granted, I was never nice to him, but doesn't that even make it weirder? I don't know, I know he didn't do it because I was never nice to him, and it was a revenge thing, but I think he did it because I don't know why he did it, but, he does have some mental illnesses, That doesn't excuse his actions, and that doesn't mean people with mental illnesses will go and do that. But he also has a bunch of traumas as well, and at the time I think he also got into a fight with his girlfriend. So, but all of that does not excuse his actions whatsoever. A couple of days after that weird experience, 8 a.m. on a Friday or Saturday, I was sleeping, but not actually sleeping, same thing. I was sleeping in a long dress. My brother came in the room again. Same shift in the bed lowering. My dress was sort of flipped where my underwear was showing, so now I could feel skin-to-skin contact with his hand on my inner thigh. But he got ballsy that day, okay? He put his hand on my underwear, you know where the vagina is? He didn't go underneath the underwear. It was always on top. And just to give you an idea, like, where he was navigating, he wasn't touching where the clitoris was or where the slit, but, like, where the pubes grow. And he would just kind of glide his hand gently on, my underwear where my vagina is, while the bed is shaking because he's obviously masturbating, that sick fuck. But I was also in a state of shock, so, I didn't immediately get up. And I just want to clarify, he never penetrated or removed my underwear because, this was all in a short span of time and I woke up. But, obviously when he was touching my vagina, I was in my head saying, what the fuck, trying to process, what's going on. And, you don't really know what you'll do in those situations. You can always, say, oh, well, if that ever happens to me, I'd get up really fast and punch him in the face, take him to the police, and be a stronger person from now on. I was one of those people. I thought that I was gonna be that person to, punch that person. But, once I was put in that situation, my body was in shock. I could not move. All I could just do was think and trying to process what was happening to me. And, of course, when you're thinking of the scenarios in your head, you always, you think, you're in control and, you have yourself over control and you are prepared for it, but it always comes when you're the least prepared. And that's what happened to me. And so he only managed to touch me for max 15 seconds, where I got up quickly and yelled what are you doing? Of course I didn't say it like that. I screamed at him. But he quickly ran out of the bedroom. I put my hands over my head because I was just shocked. I was in such shock that I didn't even cry. My brother knocked on the door crying, saying, I'm sorry, please don't tell mom, I'll do anything, I'm sorry. And oh my god, I was just so disgusted. Even more to the fact that he kept, saying he was sorry, yet telling me not to tell mom in the same freaking sentence. What? He cried before me, and that's just kind of funny to me for some reason. I know he was crying because he's embarrassed and then he got caught, but I didn't shed a single tear until I left my house to go to work. And speaking of work, I quickly got on my work clothes and got the frick out of my house using Uber. So once I got to work, everything sort of set in. Niagara Falls coming out. Of course, I should not have came to work, but where am I going to go? Home? Home is supposed to be a safe place, but, that's kind of where my assaulter is at the moment. Once I got to work, I went in the bathroom to wipe my tears and text my mom. I told her verbatim, my brother sexually assaulted me when I was sleeping. And then clocked in for work right after because I'm a good employee. I did not know what to say because I've never been so violated. In the past, I've been groped on many occasions by guys and I'm, used to it. But I was never touched on my vagina. It was, I feel like that's just, I don't know how to put it. It's just such a violation. I don't know the proper adjective, but it's just so violating. And it was a disgusting experience. And sometimes till this day, I still feel my brother's touch and it gives me the chills. And right after work, I called my dad, told him verbatim, my brother touched my vagina. Different from what I told my mom. I told her sexual assault. This time I told my dad vagina. And, he was obviously shocked and asked me if I was sure, and which I said, of course, yes. He told me he will talk to him. Not go to the police or anything or ask if I'm okay because, whatever. He can just talk to him. So he goes, he says he's going to go talk to him. And on the other hand, my mom was still confused on what I sent her. I just said sexual assault, not touch my vagina like I said to my dad. So she thought maybe he punched my boob or something, because the last thing she'll ever consider is him molesting me. It wasn't until she picked me up from work where I was angry at her for her lack of response. And I was like, why are you not mad that, my brother touched my vagina? And when she started to freak out in the car, I wish I told her explicitly, because I feel like the police would have been called a lot, earlier. And I mean, the police were called on that same day that I told her. But I mean, I don't know. I just wish that I told her explicitly, even via text. So I told her exactly what happened, and she told me she's going to call the police while I'm at a friend's house. And then later my friend drove me to the police station where they are, my brother and mom. And my brother's inside the building while my mom and I are outside, separated by different police officers. They asked me what happened, and, I told them calmly, trying not to cry, because I feel like, people won't take you seriously if you're emotional. So I tried to, pull myself together. But I mean, either way, police are fucking useless, so they're not going to do anything whether you're emotional or not. So they took their little notes, and after an hour, they told us that I can file for battery, but not sexual battery, since there was no penetration or some dumb shit like that. They can't hold him, so he went home with no consequences. I, on the other hand, grabbed my things from home and went to a friend's house where I slept there for a week. My mom lives under subsidized housing, and there's a bunch of rules and crap. And, we would get evicted if he has a record or something, because, tenants here, we're not allowed to have a record because of, the safety of the entire community or some crap like that. But, she told me if I really wanted to, she will press charges for me, because I was a minor at the time. And, I didn't want to be a burden, and for some fucked up reason, I thought the situation wasn't as bad. So I wasn't going to be the person who made more problems. Of course, I don't think that way now, but I mean, at the time, that's just how I felt. I didn't want to be homeless again, because in the past, we have been homeless before. We've been through homeless shelters, trailers, things like that. And, I didn't want to be put in that position again, because, my mom cries every day as it is, but I mean, at least we're not struggling with having a roof over our head anymore, and I don't want to put us in that situation again. The police were fucking useless, as always. They have no resources or places where my brother could go, so I would have to live under the same roof where my attacker is. Yay! That's sarcasm. Police came multiple times to confirm the situation, and there was this time that really fucking pissed me off. There were 2 male police officers, no female in sight, and they asked me the question of what happened that night. And, a little side note, okay? So how, you have a male doctor, and it's required by law to have a female present in the room. Well, I feel like that should be the same for male officers, especially with sexual assault cases. What the hell was going on with this police department? Are you serious? I told them what happened. Then they told me, they asked me where did he touch me, and I told them, and he's point to where he touched you, because obviously they don't know where a vagina is. And of course, these are 2 men, so I'm very uncomfortable. I used my fingertips to point to where my vagina is, and my palm was on my stomach. But I was clearly pointing to where it was, because, I mean, that's usually where the pointer finger is. You point things, not your palm. But, I mean, who could not tell the difference between someone touching your vagina or your stomach? And I found this out by my mom, because they were questioning us separately, and they told us not to talk to each other about it after they're done questioning us. That's suspicious. It's suspicious because they asked my mom if I was sure if I mistaken my brother, touching me on my stomach. What the fuck? They clearly just wanted to move on from this case, sweep it under the rug, and go eat donuts at Dunkin'. There should have been a female police officer, because that is just so unacceptable. And so, the police stopped visiting my house. Situations like these are the reason why people hate or don't even go to the police, because they're not taken seriously or unable to do a damn thing. Of course, if you have ever experienced sexual assault, please tell people, please press charges, even when it's hard. It's hard for me most definitely, because, and there was a point where I thought that if, another sexual assault happened to me again, whether if that's my brother or some other person, I would not tell the police, because nothing would change. Of course, I don't think that way now, but, many women and men have said nothing, and that's probably a factor on why sexual assault cases are not taken seriously. But at the same time, it's nobody does anything, and people are scared, and people just don't understand what it's like. And so people are very insensitive about it, so, nobody really comes out. And these cases need to be spoken out, and if little to nothing is done, then there needs to be outrage and pushback to help reform this broken system. And also, fun fact, but really, really sad fact, is that police train for 12 to 19 weeks and only spend 6 to 12 hours on sexual assault, while defensive tactics need training of 50 to 60 hours, depending on the state. The people who are supposed to help us are not trained to. This is why they are useless. I'll leave a link of law enforcement training on the dates to 2003 and 2006. In the Bureau of Justice Statistics, there were no recent dates I could find. Maybe that's because of my poor research skills, but if you could find like a more recent date, you can leave it down in the comments because I would be interested to look at it. What sucks is that my molester is under the same roof and I see him every day. And for the longest time, I never spoke to him. Even when he would talk to me, I would pretend he never existed. He was a ghost to me. He was dead to me. He was Casper. But, it was unrealistic. And my mom told me to, talk to him when needed, when necessary, because we need to talk when, we're cleaning or something, or when my mom needs something, because, she's disabled and there needs to be communication. And it still angered me, and I would run away to my friend's house when I get so heated. My mom is also really disgusted by my brother's actions because she's always taught us to stay away from predators, as she was raped many times in her youth, which is why it is just so upsetting to her that her own son is now the predator, and it's hard for her as a mother to make decisions that is best for me and her son. And after a long time, though, I never forgiven my brother. I mean, I still don't forgive him, but I did have some conversations with him where I was being nice, which would make me feel really weird after. I would question, why am I talking to my molester? Because, it's just weird. You don't do that under any other circumstance. I don't know the proper adjective to describe my feeling. And now it's my mom and brother were starting to get into very heated arguments where I had to be the one to interject and sometimes even talk to my brother to calm him down. It's weird. It's really weird. But I guess I gotten used to it, I don't know. My brother never genuinely apologized to my face, and that angers me more than him actually molesting me. He won't own up to it. He's ballsy when he touches my vagina, but he got no balls when faced with his actions and with me confronting him. But anyway, I only mention it when I'm angry. So this one time, my brother was banging on my mom's door at 1 a.m. and I was trying to sleep. So I yelled, "Stop banging on the door. I'm trying to sleep." And he responded with, "No, I need to talk to mom." And, I'm angry. So I threatened him because I was tired and angry, like I said. So if you don't stop, I will tell your girlfriend what you did to me. So he responded with, "If you ever do that, you are dead." And what's so funny is that previously when he was furiously banging on my mom's door, he told her, "I won't ever hurt you, Mom. At least not on purpose," or something like that. But, he has the capability to hurt me, the person who was molested by you, the person who helped reduce your punishments from mom, the person who let you be able to see your girlfriend again, which is a big mistake. And I'll talk about that in a bit. I was angry, so I kept calling him a child predator and a molester, which he responded with, "I didn't molest you." Okay, whatever. Anyway, I feel like I should explore the possibilities of why he molested me. So at the time, I think he broke up with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend got into a relationship with another guy, and the other guy was trying to fight with my brother, and my brother is the only one who gets in trouble, blah, 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 drama. Don't know the exact details because I'm really not interested, but my mom also tells me that he got caught sending nudes or suggestive images to his girlfriend before, and I say girlfriend instead of ex because they are now back together, and my brother and his girlfriend got caught kissing underneath the bleachers, and when they were at my house behind the back porch, and I guess she left a hickey on him. So I guess it's safe to say that they probably do sexual acts, and I do know this because I've read some messages, but maybe I don't know. So my theory is when he broke up with his girlfriend, he does not have anyone to satisfy his needs. So a human being with a vagina will do, I guess, and that's why he did that to me. Or maybe he was experimenting, but either way, it's gross as fuck. And since my brother and his girlfriend is back together, I think it is only right for me to tell her what happened to me. However, my brother is already an outcast at school, and the only good in-person relationship is his girlfriend, and he is always acting up at home, and recently the entire door of my mom's room has a big hole in it. I'll probably include an image. So he's only been worse, and if I were to tell the girlfriend, and if she were to tell other people in the school, I don't know what my brother would do. So I'm holding off until he gets into a facility, which has been taking months because our system is a joke. And the girlfriend might not believe me because I'm sure my brother has told her things about me, I don't know what, but most definitely lies, because he is a pathological liar. She might not believe me or care, I don't know, but I feel like she has the right to know. But there needs to be a right time, because if I were to say anything, it could make it worse. But my mom has told the girlfriend's dad, and I guess he either does not care or believe her. He probably does not believe my mom because she was very critical of my brother's relationship, and he might think that this is her way of breaking them up, I guess. And my father knows the girlfriend's dad, so maybe if he asked my dad if the sexual assault happened, my dad might cover for my brother and say it didn't happen. And if I find out my dad said that, which I won't be surprised, I will fucking disown my dad. As much as my mom does not like my brother's girlfriend, she's afraid for her because, what if she does not want to do something, but my brother forces it on her? It's a very tough situation, and it's most definitely not black and white. As I was creating this video, there's a new incident that just further proves that my brother is aggressive and dangerous. I dare to say a danger to society, which I have a video on that too that has more information on that. So the situation is that my mom took away my brother's computer because he's not doing his schoolwork and he's only playing games, and he's 50 assignments behind. My brother wants his computer, so he's banging on the door, constantly yelling at her, calling her names. He claims he wants his computer because he needs to do his schoolwork, but he has not attended school all month, and I know this for sure because I hear him and his online friends playing games. He says he has 50 plus assignments, and I confirmed this because I saw how many assignments he had, and he needs to do, but if you have that many assignments, that just means you don't care about school and you're just hiding behind the excuse that you have to do your assignments. Who gets that aggressive to want to do their schoolwork?
Give me my school laptop so I can do my fucking school, you crazy piece of shit! I don't know what goes on in your feeble fucking mind, but only time when I try and go and do my fucking school, you take it away and pretend like I'm the fucking crazy one. Fuck. Why? Why are you doing this? I want to do my my fucking school, woman! What do you not understand? I'm trying to fucking do my school, you're driving me fucking crazy!
In my opinion, I think my mom should have given it to him because in the end, he got it anyway. In my previous video, it's his way or the highway. But, she wants to parent her son that you cannot get whatever you want just because you scream that you want it, and that not everyone revolves around you. It's really sad that he did get what he wanted regardless. And later on, my mom made a very good point to me that ever since my brother got away with sexual assault, he's gone so much worse. He thinks he can now get away with anything and get whatever he wants now. I also want to discuss how this sexual assault affected me. In the beginning, I forced myself to get over it because crying is not going to help. I did cry for a good hour, but then I would have to look in the mirror and wipe my tears off and tell me to stop crying to myself. And after a while, I was convinced that I got over it and it didn't affect me, which is not true. It really did. I just was trying to convince myself that it doesn't affect me anymore because, I try to, I want to be a tough cookie. Like, shit don't bother me, But I mean, I could talk to him just fine. I can retell my story without crying. And, I don't think about that situation every day. But the thing that really, that I found is kind of, a result of my trauma is that I don't want a son. I'm not even sure if I want to give birth because I'm planning on adopting regardless. But if I ever were to give birth, I will not abort a child if it is a boy, but I will refuse to get a daughter. And I will probably feel guilty that I wish my child was a girl because of my past. I won't be able to enjoy those gender reveal parties because I'll be praying that the cake is pink, and I'm not even religious. If my mom's son turned out to be a molester, my son also has the possibility of becoming that as well. No matter how good the parenting is, children have a mind of their own and their personality develops outside of the home. And parents have little control, and that is what is just so scary. Kids, they form their personality in external environments and from the internet. And the internet is the worst place possible for kids to be influenced. But whatever. I also want to clarify that there are disgusting women who molest boys and must face the same consequences as male predators. I just feel more comfortable with women and having a daughter because all the people who have violated me are men. And of course, not all men do that. But in order to protect myself, I have to be cautious. I have to be on guard at all times because that's the result of my traumas. And if you guys have any similar stories with family violating you or just anyone in general, I hope all the best for your healing journey, and I hope you become even stronger than before. It's not your fault, not even a little, not even a smidge. You and your story is valid. Okay, so this is the second time of me updating because shit is happening, okay? So I'm pissed off and I disowned my dad. So that's kind of where I'm at right now because it was a nice Saturday afternoon and I chose violence due to the fact that both my brother and dad are pieces of shit. So let me explain. My brother and I got into an argument and my sexual assault case was brought up and it escalated. Probably my fault because I did bring it up, but whatever. My brother will not admit to what he did exactly. So, I'm obviously pissed. He said he touched me, but not quote unquote maliciously. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? Okay? Does he need a dictionary or something? I told him, you touched my vagina. Then he said he didn't. So I was like, okay, let me rephrase my words then. You touched my underwear, in which he also said he did not. So I'm just like, what? You were there, Tyler. You were the one doing it. What do you mean? Which, pissed me off even more, of course. But he said he admits to touching me. Okay. But where? I told him, then where did you touch me? He said, I don't need to explain myself to you. Oh, wow. And I'm just in the kitchen scoffing, just in shock and disgust. He never ceases to amaze me on how much of a piece of shit he is. Excuse my French. What hurts the most is that I don't even care about it anymore. I don't even care about the sexual assault. All I want is for him to acknowledge it and sincerely apologize to me, and that's literally all I want. Just an apology. Oh, and almost forgot. You know what this fucker said? That I'm exaggerating what happened. What? I fucking downplayed the situation from the very beginning. At first, I told the first incidents to my mom that it might be a dream. First sign of downplaying the situation, okay? Then I always reiterated to the officers, and even now, even in this video, that my brother did not penetrate me, but only rubbed in that area. I downplayed it by constantly reminding people that, oh, he didn't go that far. But I know that if I were dead asleep, he would have gone farther. Another downplay is when I mentioned that to people, of my sexual assault, that it traumatized my brother too, and that he struggles with mental illnesses, which is why he was probably not in the right frame of mind. I dropped the sexual assault cases because I felt bad for my mom and my brother. I did not want to be a burden. And you want to tell me that I exaggerated the situation? Oh my god, I am so livid right now. Remember what I said? That he might be a danger to society. Yeah, I fucking mean it. Now he is a danger to society. Want to know why? Okay, he has also done something far worse to another girl. You know who it is? His girlfriend. That piece of shit. They're still together despite what he did to her because he trapped her manipulatively and always threatened that he would kill himself if she were to ever leave. Now, that's just a toxic relationship just in general. Now, I'm not going to say what he did to her because it's not my story to tell, but I cannot keep quiet about it. My mom is freaking out and crying, not knowing what to do, and my mom makes a good point that the victim has rights on whether they want their story to be told or to be reported on, but she's also a minor, so I think the parent needs to know. And my mom is in the middle of making a text message, a long one, to her dad. But, she's also consulting legal aid and therapists to seek the best option. The thing is, my brother was Baker acted, and I think he comes back in like a few days. But him and his girlfriend are still communicating despite him being in the facility. So great job, facility, I guess. So he knows he knows that we look through his Discord messages. So when he comes back, all hell will break loose. He's just so disgusting, and the sight of him repulses me. I really hope there is a special place in hell where he could rot in. I know I'm being biased, but I think I have a little bit of rights to be angry. I still want him to get help, but he can't get help if he doesn't want it. So I'm very pessimistic on him being a better person in the future. I also briefly mentioned disowning my dad because, of many reasons. When I first told him about the assault case, he didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't call the police. He said he would talk to him. Like, who does that concerning their daughter, Secondly, I later found out that he told my mom verbatim, quote, "You better shut your fucking mouth. This should be a family matter," end quote. I mean, I don't need to explain how disgusting that is to say about something concerning your daughter. If this were any other person, you will not say it is a family matter. So you know what, Dad? Fuck you, okay? Thirdly, I have a gut feeling that he told the girlfriend's dad that the assault case did not happen and that my mom is crazy and lying. I have not confirmed this, but I know he will cover for my brother. He always guilt trips me for various things, especially when I was a minor and my mom has custody of us and we weren't allowed to see him. So he would always guilt trip me for not seeing him, even though I was being put in the middle of the situation. Like, you should not be talking to me about this. You should be talking about it to Mom. Plus, you didn't even put in the effort to come and see us. So... And what about you being $80,000 in debt with child support? Mom and I, and my brother as well, my mom was a single mother and she had nothing, but we still survived without you and your money, okay? And lastly, after this whole incident, I cannot have a father who will support a disgusting monster. So yeah, I did something unfair. I told him that if you continue to support my brother, then don't ever talk to me again. He did not read my message until 2 days after it was sent. He only called me once and texted me, "What are you talking about?" I blocked him after that. I mean, is that it? Okay, bye. Yeah, I know I'm being petty. And yeah, I know it's kind of unfair because, he didn't really do anything at the moment. But it's just a bunch of things piling up. And I'm just so sick of it. Things are unfair for me. Everyone treated me unfairly. So, yeah, I want to do something unfair for someone else. And that someone else being my dad. I also do not want him at my graduation because he doesn't deserve it. I worked hard without him, and I live without him too. So, fuck him. The only nice thing I'll do is send him a Zoom meeting for my graduation, and that's it because I am done with him. He's done a lot of shit to my mom in the past that I cannot forgive him for. My brother learned from the best, I guess. I won't be surprised if my brother's story is covered on Bailey Sarian or some crime channel because this is the start of a troubled boy who has not gotten any proper help because there's no useful resources and we don't have the money to put him into private facilities. We have to rely on these facilities who will take him in for free, but they're most definitely not the best places. This is the start of whatever messed up shit he will do in the future. So hey, future people watching this video, I hope I'm wrong. I'm also creating sexual assault stickers, and if you're interested, you can click the link down below for my Etsy. And before you start accusing me for profiting off my trauma, I am doing exactly that. Since he did not take any accountability or face any consequences, I will try to benefit myself in some way because in the end, I got the short end of the stick. So I'm gonna bite off as much as I could chew. Anyway, I hope you guys make good choices, and I'll see you in another video. Ciao!